Man, what's going on? What's going on? I'm about to go to the store, so you have to strap up with my protection to make sure I'm gonna be alright. And don't be afraid to use these in public. All right. When you go into the stores, whatever it is, getting gas, keep one of these on you. You know, everybody looking at you funny, whatever. F them. When they're curled up in the hospital with a respirator trying to survive, they're gonna be wishing they were rocking one of these. So, I'm gonna take this off of this video, but hey, man, when I get outside over here though, whenever I'm out anywhere, Walmart, especially if you go to the grocery stores, because that's the one place where there's a lot of people. And like in my area, there's like 2 cases. The town next over, there's like 4 cases. So, protect yourself, because you're not only protecting yourself, you're also protecting your family members. And it might touch you lightly, but it might end somebody else that you know. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be the reason for that. So let's take this damn thing off and get to the video. Yeah, and what I want to talk about right now is about Bomac. Bomac made a statement, and he was going back and forth with somebody, and somebody, they basically were talking about the fact that Terrence Crawford hasn't done his part as far as, and ESPN and Top Rank haven't done their part as far as, bringing up Terrence Crawford's profile to the level where 2 networks will work together, to do a fight. Because especially with 2 different networks, there's gonna have to be a substantial amount of money on the table in order for it to happen. And he knows this is true. So, what he went to, he's like, well, if Earl Spence was, more focused and cared more about his craft, that, that wouldn't be an issue. Basically kind of saying the fact that, he doesn't care about his craft because he's, quote, a drunk. He said that, because he drinks, he's an alcoholic, that makes, him, quote, not be someone who cares about their craft. Now, the accident, all right, that pushed him back, but that wouldn't have mattered because when he came back, he was going to fight Danny Garcia anyway. And actually, before all this mess had happened, he still would have been able to get the 2 fights in this year that he was going to get in. So it actually would have just been pushing him back a couple of months. But as far as the whole, just what's it gonna make him, not care about his craft, and he's not focused on honing his craft due to this. I don't know about that. Is this gonna shorten his career if he continues consuming alcohol, on a regular basis? Yes. I don't know if he was just out hanging out with his friends and drinking, and that's what happened that particular day. I don't know if he's someone, if he drinks, let's say if he's somebody who drinks consistently every single day. Let's say if he was, quote, almost, let's say even alcoholic type levels. You know what I mean? Could that, could you say, okay, that's going to affect your career? It could put him into a space where, he's done in his early 30s, but even with that, he could still have a very long, fruitful career. Allen Iverson was an alcoholic, big time alcoholic. And he was able to play top of his game until his early 30s. When it comes to boxing, Sugar Ray Leonard, most people don't know this, but he was big on drinking. But he was still able to have a long, fruitful career. Oscar De La Hoya, big time with alcohol and drugs. Yet he was still able to have a very long, long career. Very long, fruitful career. And he's, to this day, still using them things. He might not end up having a long, fruitful life, but he had a very long career. So when it comes to someone like Earl Spence, some people, there's different levels. Like some people, they might, let's say they drink, they might use drugs, they might just stay at the gym, and not really truly hone their craft, and you see it. You basically end up seeing it. From what I've seen and from what I know, regardless of whatever's happening with the drinking, I don't know what he drinks. I don't know if he drinks on a regular basis. I don't know if he drinks on the weekend. I don't know what he does, but I do know that he stays in that gym. I know that he stays busting his tail in that gym on a regular basis. He's known for going hard in the gym on a regular basis, going hard. Then after going hard in the gym, what he's been doing is taking on top tier competition as well. You've seen him taking on Mikey Garcia. After taking on the Mikey Garcia, you've seen him take on the Sean Porter. After the Sean Porter, he was supposed to take on a Danny Garcia next. And after that, I guess we're looking at a Manny Pacquiao fight. And there's the possibility that he could be facing Manny Pacquiao next. So he's facing the creme de la creme when it comes to, his career. The absolute creme de la creme when it comes to his career. He's out there training on a consistent basis with Charlo, a beast, probably the best fighter at 154 pounds. That's who he trains with on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. And that dude will tell you that he needs to be focused on his P's and Q's, because if you're not, Earl Spence will put his foot up his tail. Which tells you that, he's about that. He's about his business when it comes to inside of that ring. Look at somebody like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, seems to be someone who's very focused when it comes to outside of the ring too. Seems very focused when it comes to his weight, his nutrition. I guess he seems very on point and focused when it comes to that. But when it comes to inside of the ring, he's not necessarily putting himself into a space where he's sharpening his tools. You know what I mean? They say iron sharpens iron. Most of the time with Terrence Crawford, it's iron trying to sharpen itself with wood. From Amir Khan, Mean Machine. I don't even know who he's supposed to fight next. I don't know. But he's not facing the level of competition that Earl Spence is facing. His promoters wouldn't give the $20 million that Manny Pacquiao asked for in order to make the fight between those two. The same $20 million that Manny Pacquiao was guaranteed versus Adrian Broner, and he was also guaranteed versus Keith Thurman. They wouldn't pay Danny a good amount of money for him to come and to fight against Terrence Crawford. That would have been a big fight for him, not only financially, but also him being able to harness his tools against top tier competition. And it would have built up his profile. They wouldn't even call what's called Sean Porter to set up a fight with him. That would have been another big fight for him. A big financial fight. You promote it right, you should be able to do 250,000+ pay-per-views. You should be able to do a good game. And on top of that, you get your holistic skills and show everybody how to handle that business, I guess in the way that, quote, Earl Spence couldn't. You get to show the public that. Again, building up your profile. You know what I mean? Having your cake and eat it too. Building up that profile and making a good amount of money at the same time. You know what I mean? But that's not what's happening. So, all right, one guy's kind of doing whatever he's doing outside of the ring, but it seems to not be affecting him inside of the ring. And he keeps becoming a bigger and a bigger star, keeps making more and more and more money, and keeps on taking on top tier competition, while another guy, I guess, quote, handling all his business outside of the ring, but inside the ring, he's facing low tier competition. So I guess it could depend on who you ask. You know what I mean? Like, who's really the one that's not, handling their business when it comes to what's it called, making sure the skills are up to par on a consistent basis. Because what I guess if Earl Spence continue doing certain things outside the ring, if it's as bad as they say, because like I said, I don't know, then yes, over time that could hurt him. But at the same token, if you're consistently getting into the ring 2-3 times a year, year after year after year after year after year, you're taking on lower tier competition, in the long run that can hurt you too. That could end up hurting you when you finally get into the ring against a top tier level of competition. Because if that was Sean Porter that was in the ring with Terrence Crawford, and it caught Terrence Crawford like that and put him down like that, like Mean Machine did, he would have been in a world of trouble. But we'll over time, we'll see what happens when it comes to him. I think he'll, regardless of what's happening, I think he'll be good for the next couple of years. And I'm pretty sure flying out of a vehicle, escaping death like that makes you change a couple things in your brain, especially when you got two little beautiful girls that you know could have lost their daddy and had a emotionally a miserable part of their lives, and it could have been all your fault. So we'll see what happens with everything. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.